Hi, today we are going to learn how to play a new piece for St. Patrick's Day called Green, or I Must Wear Green. And this piece, first of all, we're going to take our pencils or our pen and we're going to mark some things on the piece and practice it before we put our hands on the piano. So grab something to mark with. And when you're ready, let's talk about what we're going to see. If you take a look at the notes and just look at the rhythms, today, first of all, we're going to talk about the form. And the form of a piece means how it's structured, or the same parts and different parts. So in music, we give those letter names, ABC names. Now, this is different than our note names that we give the staff. This is just how to label parts of a song. So if you look at Must Wear Green and you look at the first line, you're going to see green, green, I must wear green. I must wear green on March 17th. Now, if you take a look, the second line is the same as the first. It's just a repeat. I'm going to call the first two lines A. So take your pen or pencil and mark an A right here. Look down at the third line. This is not the same as the first two. What will happen if I don't pinch, pinch, it really hurts? You can look at the fourth line, different words, but pretty much the same notes and rhythms. I'm going to call this part B. So this is the A section, or the A part, and this is the B part. Let's take a look at page 2. In the bass clef, we have words and notes and rhythms that really remind us of the first of the piece. It's just about like A. And so but before we mark anything, let's look at it. Green, green, I must wear green. I must wear green on March 17th. Just like the beginning, but we're playing it in the bass clef. Now, on the second line of the second page, it is pretty much like we've seen it at the beginning. So this is very much like the beginning, except it's a slight bit different because this part is in bass clef, played with the left hand. I'm going to call it A, but I put a little mark up here. And in music, we call this A prime. And that just means A with a twist. It's just basically A, like the beginning, but there's something slightly different. Now, the third and fourth lines do the same rhythm, same notes, except we're just going higher. And then here you see a VA. You might want to circle that because it's easy to forget. So this is the same thing. It just repeats. I'm going to call this coda, C-O-D-A. That's the Italian word for tail, and it means the end of the piece. All right. So go back to the top left corner of your first page and write this at the top, A, B, A prime coda. That shows you at a glance the different parts of this piece. You can see there's a lot of repetition. So right away, we know that if we learn the A part, we have pretty much learned almost the whole thing. It looks long, but we don't have to panic because it is really repetitious. So there's a couple of other things I want you to mark. The last note in measure 2, would you draw a small arrow to the next note? And if you can write this in like I have, short goes to long. I want the idea that this short little eighth note has a momentum or a movement that goes to the quarter note. And I'll show you in a minute when we play it how that's going to sound. Short notes move toward long. That doesn't mean we change the counting of them, but we in our playing make the phrasing and we make it feel like we're starting softer, we're getting a little louder, and we're going to the long note. Let's find another place where that is going to happen, and that will be on this second line, the second measure. So go ahead and just draw a little arrow there to remind yourself short notes go to long. And then on the top of the next page, again, in the second measure, bass clef, you can draw your arrow. You can see on this second line of the second page, same part, second line, second measure, short notes go to long. It happens here, and it happens here. Pause the video if you need to and draw all of your arrows in. While we are on the second page, there's something that happens at the end that's a little different. Green, green, I must wear green. I must wear green on, there's a half rest there. Can you circle that? I have written in rest, rest. And then on beat 3, we're going to play a low A. You might want to circle this 8BB. It could be you decide to play the lowest A on the piano. Today, I'm going to play the second lowest A. Pause the video and make sure you've made these markings. All right. The only other thing you might want to mark, it depends on if you want to or not. Some students like to circle this part right here. It's that second with the fingers 2, 3, and they like to write the note names in before they start. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Remember how I said, if we learn the A part, the rest of it is easy. Let's clap, and I will say the words. I'm going to clap the first line, and then you'll do it with me. Ready, set, here I go. Green, green, I must wear green. I must wear green on March 17th. Notice what a jazzy rhythm that is. And if you've studied eighth notes, you should see the eighth rest and the eighth note, and you can see some eighth notes here. The second measure has what we call syncopa, and that means that we have an eighth note followed by a quarter note, followed by another eighth note. Here it is again. Do it with me this time. 1, 2, here I go. Green, green, I must wear green. I must wear green on March 17th. Did you practice that part A? Let's check out part B. 1, 2, here I go. What will happen if I don't? Pinch, pinch, it really hurts. I just hope I won't forget. Green, green, I must wear green. Pause the video and rewind a bit and practice clapping. All right, we are ready to play this piece, and we're going to start out with right hand, finger 2 on treble A. So we'll be right here with finger 2, and I'll play it, and then I'll pause and you can play it. 1, 2, here I go. Pause the video, you try it. Let's take a look at the B section. Now I will have to move my hand. My pinky is resting on D. I'm going to move it over one note to E, fourth space E. And I'm going to get my left hand ready. My left hand is on A and G below middle C. This note is middle C. So here I go. 1, 2, here I go. What will happen if I don't pinch, pinch? It really hurts. I just hope I won't forget green, green. I must wear green. Pause, rewind the video, and play the B section. All right. Now we're at the top of the second page. I've put finger 3 on A below middle C. And I will play the first line. Did you notice how we play I must wear green? We've been doing that all along because short notes go to long. Now finger 2 up here, measure 21, 1, 2, here I go. After I play that line, my hand rainbows up and I play the same thing more quietly. 1, 2, here I go. And then one more octave. Rest, rest, then I'm going to play my low A. So that's how you play I Must Wear Green. Go back, listen, play along, and enjoy I Must Wear Green.